And we are going to be talking about the exploration for the United States of America. Trade with Asia. Around 1300, Marco Polo traveled to Asia for items to sell back in Europe at a great profit. Some of the items with which he returned were salt, spices, silks, and jewels. After hearing of stories, merchants traveled to Asia and back in hopes of making a fortune like Marco Polo. So, for instance, if you were to be taking notes, you could do yellow for this. So you could do 1300, Marco Polo to Asia, sell in Europe for profit. And then that's your first bullet point. And then your second bullet point could be items returned, salt, spices, silks, and jewels. And then for your third bullet point, sorry if I said third for the last one, I meant second bullet point. And then for your third bullet point, you could put merchants traveled to Asia in hopes of making fortune. Alright, so first off, we're going to go ahead and do this. Put your notes, if you're doing it, just write down the question or write down 1 and 2. But the first question, we're going to talk about it. What types of items were brought to Europe from Asia? So if you come back up here, you can see that here it just talks about he went. So that is your where, kind of. And then for your second bullet point, you have what. That is your what. So you can take the salt, spices, silks, and jewels, and that will be your first answer. And then, why were items from Asia likely so profitable? So go ahead and pause the video, and I will let you answer the question so that you can go ahead and give me an answer. Okay, so now that you've talked about it, we are going to go ahead and discuss. So, items from Asia likely were so profitable because they didn't have things in Europe. They didn't have as much things as they did up there. So that's one reason. If you come up with a different reason, go ahead and put it in the comments if possible. Seeking new trade routes. Inspired to find faster trade routes to Asia than by land, Europeans began exploring for water routes. Europeans also explored to become wealthier, to share their religion, to have a larger empire than the empires of their rival countries. So if you see down here, we have different countries: Britain, Spain, and French. Those are our main ones. And then if you see here, so you have to think about which way would be quicker, from here to here or here to go there, because walking would be a little more difficult than just that. So go ahead and take in your notes. I'll give you a second, and we will continue on with our turn to talk. Okay, now that you have taken your notes, we are going to go ahead and go on with these questions. So what were the reasons for exploration, or European exploration? So back up here, you can see that they wanted to be wealthier, their religion, and larger empires. Those are your reasons. Why would traveling by water be faster than traveling by land at this time? So like we talked about before, what would be easier to do? Would it be go by land and then take all this and then get there? Or would it be easier to let the wind take control of your ship and then just get there? It all depends on the one thing. So go ahead and answer that. Now let's get into Christopher Columbus. Okay. Unlike others during this time, Christopher Columbus believed the world was round and that if he sailed west, he would reach Asia. By reaching India and China, he could access their lucrative spice markets. Spices were rare in Europe, and they were essential to the preservation of food in the world without refrigerators. So if you take a look at everything, you have to take your notes. Go ahead and do that while I talk about this slide. So basically, Christopher Columbus thought the world was round, obviously, as it said in the first. He believed that sailed west, he could get to Asia. Then he thought by reaching India and China, he could get to spice markets. For a third bullet point, spices were rare in Asia at the time, and they were essential to preserve food because they didn't have refrigerators back then. Okay. What did Christopher Columbus believe about the shape of the world? So, he thought the world was round. We'll just talk through this real quick so we can get through the slides quicker. He thought the world was round, and because of this, people kind of made fun of him, right? Because, everyone thought the world was flat, and if you went as far as the ocean could go, then you would fall off the edge. So he thought the earth was round. What did Columbus hope to achieve by traveling to India and China? So if we come back up here, this is in our second bullet point, right? Spice markets. So he could access the spice markets. Okay. Columbus discovers a new world. While sailing for Spain in 1492, Columbus landed in what he thought was India. He called the natives he encountered Indians. He later realized that he actually discovered a new world. On behalf of the King and Queen of Spain, Columbus hoped to spread Christianity to the people living in the New World. So basically, literally take down your notes real quick. I'm going to talk about over here on the pictures. So basically, traveling from here, he was trying to go all the way, not there, from here to here, somewhere in this area. I believe, I don't know. I'm already sleepy, guys, so stay with me. So because he was trying to get to, that's Africa, not Asia, he was trying to come over here somewhere. So because he was trying to get to Asia, he thought, maybe if I just go west, I will be able to go back around all the way to China and India, these two here. So he planned to go all the way around, and all the way here, and then he wanted to go all the way back around. So basically he thought, maybe if I do this, I can always get back and forward quicker. He was wrong. So when he explored this new world, he encountered the natives there, and he called them Indians. And after that, he discovered that it was a new world. Alright, last turn and talk. Why did Columbus sail west from Europe? So if we look back at our notes, he sailed west from Europe because he thought that he could go all the way from here to get all the way over here. But what did he learn? he had reached the New World. What did Columbus discover? So Columbus discovered the New World, obviously, because he meant to go from Europe all the way to China and India so that he could get the more spices or spice markets. That will be all for today. We will start on continued explorations tomorrow. I hope you learned something from this, or at least wrote something down so that you can keep up with your class. I have a classroom code. Just go to the comments and then ask for it, or I will put it down in the link or description, not the link. Anyways, that is all for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow.